All right, ladies, today we're talking about something that might make some people uncomfortable, but growth rarely happens inside of our comfort zone. So I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine your life, and in your life, you are a walking billboard. And as you walk around all day, you have to acknowledge, what does your billboard say? Now, this is what I need you to consider. I'm not asking you what you think it says. I'm not asking you what you hope it says. I'm asking you, on your day-to-day as you enter the world, what would the billboard of your life actually say? When you walk into a room, what kind of energy enters with you? Are you confident? Are you grounded? Are you positive? Are you growth-oriented? Are you physically strong and vibrant? Or are you constantly complaining? Are you self-deprecating? Are you negative? Are you drained? Are you presenting in life like you've just given up? Because whether we like it or not, we are constantly broadcasting. We're broadcasting our body, our posture, our tone, our grooming, our health, and our attitude. It is literally our business card, our walking billboard. And we are in a strange cultural moment right now in the world. So I want to address something. We have entered an era where it's become almost trendy to look like you don't care. You guys see it all the time. The messy, unkempt, like chronically exhausted, always overwhelmed, the I'm just surviving mindset, the don't expect much from me personalities, and the life is hard and I'm leaning into it perspectives. And listen, I know life is hard, but glorifying apathy and celebrating self-neglect, making it fashionable to not care about your health and your appearance, that is not empowerment, that is resignation. And we need to stop that narrative in its tracks. You should care, not for approval, not for male validation, not for social media, but for self-respect. There's a concept in psychology called self-signaling. It means that the behaviors you engage in send signals to yourself about who you are. So when you exercise consistently, when you dress intentionally, if you stand tall with your posture, if you take care of your health, if you speak positively about yourself, if you present yourself with confidence, your brain registers that I am someone who values myself. But the reverse is also true. If you're constantly speaking negatively about yourself, if you neglect your health, if you slouch, if you complain, if you avoid responsibility constantly, and if you dress like you don't care about yourself, then your brain registers, I am someone who does not prioritize growth, or I don't care about myself. So your external presentation reinforces your internal identity. I read a book once by James Clear, and he said, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. So the question is, what are you voting for daily? What kind of person do you want to become? What do your actions tally towards? Is it self-growth or is it self-deprecation? Is it becoming a better person or is it staying stuck and stagnant? So let's take a minute to talk about respect. And this might sting a little. There is a baseline level of humanity that every person deserves, period. No question about it. But beyond that, you don't get respect and admiration simply for being. You have to command it. You have to earn it. You have to demand it through how you show up and what you deliver. So if you walk into a room at work, slouched, disheveled, apologetic, negative, low energy, do you think people subconsciously register you as leadership material? No. Research in social psychology consistently shows that posture affects your perceived authority. Grooming affects your perceived competence. Physical vitality affects perceived capability. And it's not always fair, but it's real. We judge competence in milliseconds. Research shows that people form first impressions in under 7 seconds. 7 seconds. You are a billboard when you walk into a room, and how you present yourself impacts people's thoughts of you. Those initial thoughts are not easy to undo. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this, because energy is very contagious. There is a concept called emotional contagion in behavioral science. It shows that moods spread through social groups unconsciously. So if you are the friend that is constantly complaining, focusing on problems, self-deprecating, criticizing yourselves, talking about how stuck you are, or negatively talking about others, people feel it. And over time, they want to distance themselves from that. Not because they dislike you, but because humans are wired to move towards expansion and away from contraction. But on the flip side, Growth-minded people are magnetic. Growth mindsets show that people who believe they can improve, adapt, evolve are seen as more capable and more inspiring. When someone radiates ownership, optimism, discipline, effort, and resilience, we admire them, we trust them more, we want to follow them. This is how movements start. This is how people like Tony Robbins and Mel Robbins become so famous and important, because they exude that self-ownership, that optimism, that discipline. It's magnetic. So we have to remember that appearance is not about vanity, and putting effort into your appearance is not shallow. It's called signaling. It says, I care about how I show up. I value myself. I'm intentional with my time and efforts. And there's research that shows that people who dress with intentionality are perceived as more competent, more confident, and more trustworthy. And here's why this matters. When you feel put together, you behave differently. There are studies on enclosed cognition that show that what you wear actually changes your physiological state. When you dress like someone who leads, your brain starts operating like someone who leads. So if you walk around constantly signaling, I don't care, I wear crappy clothes, I look frumpy, eventually your brain starts to believe that. And this became so apparent during COVID, because everybody started working from home and most people started living in pajamas and sweatpants, and the quality of their life, their energy, their work ethic just dwindled. So remember, getting up and getting dressed and ready every day is a powerful move that sets the foundation for how you are going to live out your days. If you spend your days sleeping in and living in sweatpants and pajamas all day, your motivation does not match growth. And that's okay if you're not growth-minded, but if you're the kind of person that says, I want to build something big, I want a better life, I want to make more money, I want to inspire others, we got to put some effort in, people. And it's not just with how we physically dress, it is also about our physical health. So being fit is not just about aesthetics. It's not just about vanity. It's about vitality. It's about your future. It's about longevity and sustainability and functional independence as we age. It's about being able to walk into a room with energy, stand tall, feel strong, carrying yourself like someone who respects themselves. Muscle is something that cannot be bought. And when you walk into a room with a fit, healthy, muscular body, people cannot deny the fact that you are disciplined, that you take care of yourself, that you show up for yourself, that you have standards that you live by. It is literally undeniable. When you're physically strong, you move differently, you speak differently, you make decisions differently. Physical strength builds psychological strength. There is consistent evidence that resistance training improves your confidence, your move, your self-efficacy, your executive functioning, your decision-making. It's not just about muscle, it's about identity. Because to become a fit, healthy, strong person, it takes discipline, it takes consistency, it takes showing up, it takes living by a schedule, it takes having non-negotiables, it takes being impeccable with your word to yourself. And people can't deny that. And your walking billboard of yourself impacts every area of your life. How you show up affects your marriage, your children, your career, your friendships, the opportunities you're given. If you constantly project, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stuck, I'm tired, I'm just surviving, I'm barely getting by, then that becomes your brand and people respond accordingly. But if you project, I'm evolving, I take responsibility, I value growth, I care about how I show up, and I respect myself, then you build credibility without even having to say a word. So I want you to ask yourself honestly, if you met you for the first time today, would you want to be around you? Would you feel inspired? Would you feel encouraged? Would you feel elevated? Or would you feel drained and overwhelmed and negative? And again, it's not about perfection, it's about awareness. This isn't about obsessing with our appearance, it's about alignment. Do you want confidence, respect, opportunities, growth? Then your billboard needs to reflect it. You need to care about your body, your mindset, your grooming, your words, your trajectory. We have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. Again, not for external validation, but because you respect yourself too much not to. We are not here to glorify apathy. We are not here to celebrate mediocrity. We are not here to normalize self-neglect. We are allowed to evolve. We're allowed to elevate. We are allowed to take up space confidently. And you are absolutely allowed to care about yourself. Because how you show up is how the world reads who you are. So tomorrow morning, when you get dressed, when you speak, when you move, when you enter a room, ask yourself, what does my billboard say about me? Is it aligned with the woman I want to become? And if not, make a change. You ladies got this.